What's up, guys? I just got done watching the Husky game, and I will be making Husky videos for the rest of the season, starting this week. But I skipped the first 3 weeks because we were playing three terrible teams, and you can't learn that much, and I wouldn't have been able to say very much. But excuse me. I will be making Husky videos for the rest of the season, starting this week. But this video's about the game tomorrow afternoon. It's kind of a weird one. If you've watched this team for the last few years, you know that even at our best, this Rams team is a pain in the ass, especially in their house. Although now their house is a different house that is still their house, but we don't know. I don't know what kind of home field advantage they're going to have at first. I don't know how excited the Los Angeles area is about getting a football team. I don't know if they feel the passion for this team yet. I don't know what kind of home field advantage the Rams are really going to have because, to me, these last, I'd say, 4 years, in the Wilson era, the Rams have clearly been better at home than in Seattle. They beat us last year in Seattle, but if you look at the cumulative performances they put up, they've been very good against us in St. Louis, but I don't know if that's going to carry over to LA. So there's that. It's the first game in Los Angeles since the 90s. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know how that's going to affect the game, but beyond that, this is, of course, one of those teams that just is a pain in our ass. They have a phenomenal defensive line, although they did move some pieces around this offseason at their defensive line. They have a good front seven. They have a ball-swarming defense. They've just always managed to utilize that fact to really be a pain for us because we, as a team over the last 4 years, have not had very good offensive lines. So have things changed this year? Are things going to be different this year? I mean, you can look back. I mean, last year they swept us. The year before that, we split. The year before that, we won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and this team almost beat us in St. Louis, and then we thumped them pretty good in Seattle. But the year before that, we split in 2 close games. It's just always been a pain, and personally, it drives me crazy because this Rams team is bad. They're coached by somebody who doesn't know how to coach in the modern game. Their teams are poorly structured. Their teams are poorly put together. They play poorly against almost everyone else except Tampa Bay, but every year they're just a pain in the ass. And I really hope this is the year that it comes to an end because I am really annoyed by losing to a guy like Jeff Fisher, who I'm more annoyed by. It's not like he offends me or anything. I'm just kind of annoyed that he maintains this aura of being a really good coach and has this reputation of being a good coach, despite the fact that I don't think he knows what he's doing beyond the ability to keep his job. And I feel like maybe everyone else is starting to catch on to that. I mean, every article that you read about Jeff Fisher these days is about how people think he's good, but he's not. So maybe nobody thinks he's good anymore. I don't know, but it really irritates me that he's the guy who keeps beating us and keeps giving us fits because he's not good. And his team is not good. His team has not been good ever since he got there, rather. And I really hope that this is the year that things turn. But if you look at the rosters, it really might not. It seems like the same problems are still there. So I'm going to say this about this game. Very simple. Defense, control this game for the entire 60 minutes. I mean, Monday Night Football, we all saw it if you didn't stop watching, to fill you in. The Rams offense had nothing in that game. They couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't run the ball. Every play was getting blown up in the backfield. They didn't do anything offensively. They've got nothing going on that side of the ball right now. They have a bad offensive line. They have a terrible quarterback. They can't play their, franchise quarterback of the future because he apparently isn't ready. I think it's because he doesn't know how to take the ball from under center. He's a shotgun quarterback, and I feel like maybe Jeff Fisher wasn't ready to deal with a quarterback like that, but whatever it may be, he's he was inactive last week. He's going to be the backup this week. They have a talented running back, but from week to week, it doesn't matter because the offensive line is bad. The receivers are terrible. They gave Tavon Austin a giant extension that he's not even close to being worth. Kenny Britt is okay. Offensively, they've got nothing, and they showcased that on Monday night against the 49ers, who have an okay defense, but that offense, they might not be as bad as they were on Monday night, but they are bad. That's not that far away from the team that they are from week to week, in my opinion. So my expectation is that this defense controls this game and kind of guides the team all the way through to a win. I want, 3-and-outs, turnovers, sacks, everything. I mean, Miami, we did pretty much everything good except we didn't get a turnover. This week, I want all of that plus the turnovers. I want us to do everything we did last week. I want Earl Thomas to tighten it up. I want to get even more pass rush. I want to get turnovers. I want to maybe even get defensive and special teams scores. And I want that to be the guiding focus. Because our offense, I don't know. Ifedi is still hurt. And who knows if that's even a big deal, because who knows how good Ifedi is going to be when he gets in there. He's a rookie. Webb is hurt, but he's going to play, seemingly. I mean, you figure if he was actually hurt to the point where he can't play, the team would have made a roster move. They didn't. So I can only assume that Webb is going to start at right guard. We've still got Glowinski, who played poorly last week. At left guard, we've still got Bradley Sowell at left tackle. We don't know yet, but the early returns are not great. And because of that, and because we're still playing Aaron Donald, who probably will do whatever the hell he wants to do against Jamarcus Webb, they've still got Robert Quinn. They've got Michael Brockers, who is a good player in that middle of the defensive line. They've got Dominic Easley, who gets hurt a lot, but when he's healthy is a talented player on that defensive line. It might just be a feeding frenzy for this Rams team all day with their defensive line. So offensively, I don't know what I can expect from these guys. I'm hoping they can put together a couple of good drives. I'm hoping that we can bust a couple of big plays. But it's hard for me to expect very much right now. This offensive line is not equipped to deal with the freaks that the Rams have on their line. And unless they're able to, in the fourth quarter, come together and start giving Russell Wilson time in the pocket, start opening up running lanes, it's tough to imagine that this offense is ever really going to get it going this week. This is not the week for the offense, in my opinion. So in order for me to feel good about us winning this game, I need the defense to just run whatever they want to do against this Rams offense. We should be able to. This defense is way more talented than the 49ers defense. This defense should be better than the 49ers defense, and they dispatched the Rams like they were some college team just wandering around in there. So that's what this game is to me. I mean, Wilson, he's going to be playing with an ankle injury, although it seems like it doesn't affect him at all. He didn't miss any practice. He didn't miss anything this week. Of course, I like our wide receivers against their secondary. Of course, I like our running backs. Of course, I like the talent on this team, but it's tough for me to believe right now, after what I saw against Miami, that this offense is quite ready. I think they can get there. I think they're going to get better, but right now it's tough. About the best I can say about this offense right now is Pro Football Focus helped me even myself out this week, because I came away from last week feeling like the entire offensive line was bad. Pro Football Focus actually watches every play and grades every player on every play. And if you look at their analysis, Gary Gilliam actually played pretty good, and Justin Britt actually played really good. So we do have a couple of guys up there who might just be putting it together, because they were not that good last year. But even with that, I just look at this matchup against Aaron Donald, who is probably the second best defensive tackle in football, and I just go, I don't know. All right. Well, I'll be back on after the game, but those are my thoughts. Defense, get a couple of pick sixes in the first half of this game. Put it away before half. Because if there's drama at the end, um, I actually don't know how confident I feel if this is a close game at the end. Right? It this goddamn team, you know. All right.